For 23 years, my wife Catherine restored a 1968 Dodge Charger in our garage. 8 months after she died of a sudden aneurysm, I walked into the garage on a Monday morning and found it empty. My daughter Lauren had sold it for $25,500 because her husband Ethan needed cash for their Dubai trip. I'm Scott Lawson, 66, a retired Sacramento firefighter. Catherine had been a high school history teacher who spent every weekend turning a rusted Hulk into a museum-quality machine. Her restoration journal's last entry, written 2 months before she died, said she couldn't wait to teach me to drive it and take it to Tahoe. The sentence stopped mid-thought. 2 weeks later, she collapsed in her classroom. When Lauren and Ethan came to explain, Ethan showed no remorse. "It's just metal," he said. "I noticed something. The buyer, Gary Mitchell of Mitchell Auto Restoration, had bought it not to profit, but to protect it." The next morning, Gary called, voice shaking. "Your wife left something for you inside the car." At his shop, Gary told me the truth. 25 years ago, Catherine had co-signed a $50,000 loan that saved him from bankruptcy and let him open this shop, a secret she'd kept from me for decades. A week before she died, she'd asked him to buy the Charger if anyone ever tried to sell it, and to bring me straight to him. Behind the car's radio was a hidden compartment. Inside, a sealed letter, a manila folder, and a small wooden box. Catherine's letter revealed everything. Our son-in-law, Ethan Shepard, was actually Ryan Wells, a professional predator who marries women with aging, wealthy parents, isolates them, fabricates evidence of cognitive decline, files for conservatorship, drains the estate, and vanishes. She'd hired a private investigator, Vincent Clark, 18 months earlier and traced 5 prior victims across 4 states, including 2 elderly men who'd lost $476,000 and $332,000, whose deaths their families blamed on heartbreak. The wooden box held a key to a safe deposit box containing stock she'd secretly bought in 1987 for $5,000, now worth $581,000, placed solely in my name, untouchable by Ryan. I called the 2 victims' families, Gerald Martinez and Raymond Nelson, both of whom agreed to testify. I met Vincent Clark, who showed me Ryan had already stolen nearly $2.1 million from at least 9 victims, and worse, had just booked a one-way Dubai flight for Monday, 2 days earlier than he'd told Lauren, with a conservatorship petition already filed against me. I told Lauren everything. She broke down, then hardened with resolve. She agreed to wear a hidden recorder and go home to draw Ryan into confessing his plan. That night, he bragged on tape about the entire scheme, including a separate scam where he'd convinced Gary Mitchell to wire him $200,000 for a fake buyer. The recording gave police probable cause, but not enough for conviction. So the next night, while Ryan slept under sedatives, Lauren snuck into his office safe and photographed everything. A signed conservatorship petition, a fake passport under the name Marcus Williams, offshore account records, and surveillance photos of me and my routines going back months. At 5 a.m. Monday, we all gathered at Sacramento International, me, Lauren, Gary, Vincent, and my friend Frank, as Detective Karen Bradley and her team moved into position. Ryan strolled in with designer luggage, confident and unaware. As he reached security, Bradley confronted him. He bolted, sprinting through the terminal until Vincent, a former cop, tackled him near a departure gate. Cuffed and bleeding, Ryan sneered at me, calling Catherine's investigation pathetic and taunting Lauren for being easy to manipulate. I hit him once before Vincent pulled me back. Gary and Frank quickly told police Ryan had simply fallen while resisting arrest. His abandoned luggage held $82,000 cash, a 3rd fake passport, the signed conservatorship documents, and offshore bank records showing over $1 million stolen from at least 7 victims. It was more than enough. Ryan pleaded guilty to fraud, identity theft, and elder abuse, sentenced to 17 years in federal prison. Lauren was cleared of all wrongdoing and her fraudulent marriage was annulled. At sentencing, the judge publicly credited Catherine, a schoolteacher who'd spent her final months secretly building a case that ultimately protected her family and brought justice to multiple victims. 2 months later, Gary drove the restored Charger back to my driveway, refusing payment. "Your wife saved my life 25 years ago," This is the least I can do. Lauren and I used part of Catherine's bonds to endow a $12,000 annual scholarship in her name for future teachers at her alma mater. One Saturday, in an empty hospital parking lot, Lauren taught me to drive the Charger's manual transmission, using notes from Catherine's own journal, which had a final entry, "Teach Scott to drive the Charger. Then we'll drive to Tahoe together. Drive it for me when I'm gone." The following weekend, Lauren and I finally drove that Charger to Lake Tahoe, the trip Catherine never got to take. Sitting there overlooking the water, I felt something I hadn't felt in 8 months. Peace. Not the absence of grief, but something steady underneath it. Catherine died protecting us, quietly, patiently, for 18 months, while carrying an unbearable secret alone. Her love outlived her, hidden inside chrome and steel, waiting until the moment we needed it most.